We've got a few changes to go over in the forecast here as we get into this weekend. And again, it all has to do with just how dangerously cold we're going to be getting as we get into Saturday and Sunday. But we're also adding in a problem with some of that snow, it looks like, here as we get into the first day of this weekend. It is still going to be cold. There's really no two ways around that. The one way around that we've found is a little bit of cloud cover going to help us out here Sunday night into Monday. So we've trimmed off the weather alert day on Monday. But we've actually added it on the front end of that as we get into Saturday. So we've been shuffling things around here, if you missed that, into last night, into this morning. Let's look at FUTURETRACK, though. As we get into our Friday, again, there's not going to be any issues here today. Maybe a good chance to kind of get things in order before we get into some of this Arctic air later on this weekend. Temperatures topping out right around 40 degrees for a lot of us, in the upper 30s if we don't get all the way there. But going to be picking up some afternoon clouds. They're really not much of a concern. Might be able to squeeze out a flurry out of some of those in some of our northern counties. No issue here as we get into Saturday, or as we get into Friday. Saturday is where the issue actually is, as some of that moisture starts to work its way back in. Another disturbance rolling on through into some of that cold air. It may drag up enough warm air here, at least initially south of I-70, to start some of this out as rain, but it's going to transition quickly. Watch how fast we drop these temperatures from 35 to 12 degrees here as we get into about 4 o'clock on the latest run of FUTURETRACK. Again, gives you an idea of how much cold air there is with this system. So even where we do start out with a little bit of rain, that may actually be a little problematic too. Maybe looking at something in terms of a flash freezing scenario. So I think the roads are going to be taking a hit as we get into tomorrow afternoon. Really anytime after that snow starts to fall. And again, temperatures falling to about 10 degrees here as we get into the evening hours. How much snow are we talking about? Again, it's not exactly impressive amounts. We may see some isolated areas getting up around 3 or 4 inches. So again, maybe a little more than we've seen here of the latest systems, but it doesn't take a lot here, as cold as it's going to be, to create a lot of issues out on some of those roadways. But still kind of the overarching problem, if you're going to be outside for any extended period of time, it's going to be those temperatures that are going to be some problems here as we get into this weekend. How cold is it going to feel like? This is factoring in that wind. As some of that snow starts falling, again, you can see the big split in temperatures, or at least it feels like, down into the 40s, down around Fort Leonard Wood and Rolla. We're already below zero, it looks like, here as we get into the early afternoon hours. That's factoring in a lot of that wind. I think as we get into the overnight hours, that's where we're going to be seeing some of the worst of this here, bottoming out around 10 degrees below zero. That wind will back off, so these numbers may actually moderate just a little bit more here as we get into a little closer to daybreak on Sunday. But again, either way you slice it, it is going to be nasty out there Saturday night into Sunday morning. On the other side of all of this, again, it looks like that cold air is here to stay. This is a look at that 6 to 10 day temperature outlook here from the Climate Prediction Center. That is as close as you can get to a slam dunk, that cold air, or at least below average air, is here to stay. And look at it here as we get into Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We may be lucky to get out of the teens toward the middle of next week. Now, we're also going to be tracking a few disturbances into that cold air. Monday looks like where we're zeroing in on our next opportunity at picking up some accumulating snowfall. So stay with us. Again, the details a little bit tough to iron out on that system. We'll be continuing to track that as we go all throughout this weekend.